groundbreaking technique which uses the DNA from 3 different people to prevent the passing down of deadly diseases. Here's a very simplified look at what's involved. A fertilized egg that includes the DNA of the mother and father and a separate fertilized egg from a donor. The mom and dad's genetic material is then injected into the donor's egg. The new method prevents babies from being born with devastating diseases while it's still in its early experimental phases and currently banned in the U.S. Experts say it marks a huge step in the field. I want to bring in Dr. Lucky Seekon. She's a double board certified OBGYN and fertility doctor. Dr. Lucky, thanks so much for being here. I know you're going to kind of walk us through this in a very simple manner. So this sounds like an incredible breakthrough.
It really is. It's a miracle. And it's specifically used to treat a very devastating category of hereditary diseases called mitochondrial disorders. Now, without getting too technical, I want to take you back to high school biology. Remember hearing the mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell? The mitochondria is in all of our cells and it generates energy. And it's really important for all of our vital organs to function. And a lot of people don't realize this, but mitochondria is outside of the nucleus of the cell that has DNA that determines our personal traits that we get from our moms and our dads, right? And outside of that, we have the mitochondria that makes the energy, and it has its own DNA. Very small number of genes are encoded by that DNA. And what's interesting is we always get our mitochondrial DNA passed down from our moms. So if a mother carries a mutation in her mitochondrial DNA, and she may have disease manifestations, she may be asymptomatic, but she will pass this on to 100% of her children. And it can be very severe in certain forms. It can affect your heart, your brain, your kidney, your liver, all of the major organs. And so this is the first time that we are able to now prevent this illness from being passed on without having to rely on a mother saying, I'm not going to use my own DNA, I'm going to use a donor egg.
So I got to ask you here, and I could be way off, but I'm sure some viewers have the same question. You have 3 parents now. Are there any traits from that 3rd parent that will carry over to the child?
No, I think 3 parent is actually a misnomer because you're really using the nuclear DNA from the intended parents, the mom and the dad who just want to do this procedure to have a healthy child. Only 1% of the DNA is actually coming from the donor when it comes to
But it's that energy DNA we were just talking about, right?
Exactly, it's the mitochondrial DNA.
But there's no traits there?
It does not represent anything that will determine traits.
So why has it not been approved in the U.S. yet?
Well, there's a ban here, and this has been longstanding because everyone is very concerned about the ethics of any sort of technology that involves being able to modify the genetics in a way that can be passed down to future generations. And obviously, there have been concerns about could this be a slippery slope and lead to designer babies. But I think it's really important to not conflate this amazing breakthrough with the concept of designer babies because this is a very specific use case, and it's been ethically vetted.
When something like this comes through and it's a breakthrough, and then you're a doctor, say it were to be approved in the U.S., would you have to be trained on this? Like, how would doctors here in the U.S. even learn about this technology?
Well, it would start in the embryology lab. A lot of people don't realize that IVF doctors aren't the ones actually performing these microsurgical procedures on eggs and sperm and creating embryos. So we rely on a team of embryologists. And these are highly skilled, trained individuals that would learn from the experts overseas that are already pioneering this technique, and we would be able to bring it here as long as we have the regulatory oversight and approval.
Fascinating. Dr. Lucky, we want to thank you so much for being here.